Hello everybody, in this video I'll be showing you how I made and painted the base for the librarian. I started off with gluing some cork using wood glue, and PVA glue will work just as fine. On the base I made sure the crack effect in the cork in the rock later on already is in place now. I make sure I put the corks in a position that the model will actually fit later on. I leave this to dry for a little bit and then I apply some wood glue where I want some sand and rocks to be lying on the base. As you can see, I then apply the sand and make sure everything is covered with it, at least everything I want. Then I prime the model. You can prime it in any color you want, and using dark gray blue I then dry brush all the rocks, and using German camouflage black brown I paint all the rocks and then I paint all the sand using the German camouflage brown. Then using medium sea green I dry brush the rocks, and this is then followed by a dry brush of khaki brown on the sand, and it's perfectly okay if you hit the rocks a little bit. This will give the appearance of some dust and some sand lying on the rocks, as you can see here. Then I take gray and I dry brush the rocks again, just to make them a little bit lighter towards the edges. The reason I do the rocks first is because, well, there won't be rocks lying on the sand in little pieces, but sand on the rocks will be there, so it gives a more natural effect. Then I take hemp and I dry brush the sand again, and again it's perfectly okay if you hit the rocks a bit. Next I go and paint in the glowing green effect. I used Escorpainter green through an airbrush and I just painted it in like this. And you can do this with a brush as well, it's no problem. If you paint the bottom of the base, make sure you have it covered completely, and then really with a really heavy dry brush on rocks. Then using that white I dry brush the upper parts of the rocks. The only reason for this is to have the next color get a base to sit on, otherwise it's not going to stick. So I take then moon yellow and I go over the white parts again with it. And now the base actually is already finished. So I glue on the model using superglue, and I use Zap-A-Cap because it works really fast, as you can see. The model isn't pinned to the base because I don't feel it being really necessary. Then I take fresh mud, weathering powder from Forgeville, and I just apply a little bit on the base and on the model. However, I do make sure I don't hit the glowing effect on the base too much. A little bit isn't a big deal, but if it's going to get covered in it, it will take away the effect. And then I apply some tufts and I paint the edge of the base, and this is the end result. But most likely most of you have already seen this. There's a full list of the materials I used after this shot. So I hope you liked this video. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.